The Underfoot Rebellion. Kara had been making the sleep bread since her grandmother taught her. Not for malice. Never for malice. The herbs came from the high ledge behind her cottage, dried in bundles all winter, ground fine enough to vanish into flour. Still moss for the body, grey fennel for the edges of the mind, dream root, grown only where the creek bent north for the long descent. Too little, and a man would simply feel rested. Too much, and he would not wake for a week. Kara had never needed to use it like this before. She had recognized the smoke on the horizon 2 hours before the ashen claw arrived. Black leather, iron masks. Their column broke through the tree line like a blade through cloth, and every underfoot in Brindlehollow felt the change in the air, the way animals feel weather. Old Renwick had said,
"Burn the grain stores and run."
Kara had said.
Set the tables.
They argued. She lost. Then she set the tables anyway. Now she stood behind the feast spread in the square and watched 30 armed men eat her bread. The captain, Varick, was the problem. He ate slowly, watched everything. He had the eyes of a man who had survived by never trusting warmth, and he wore that distrust like his iron mask, close and habitual. The others were already slowing. She could see it. The big one with the spiked shoulders had stopped mid-sentence. 2 riders near the barrels were blinking at their cups, like men who had forgotten what cups were for. Then Varick's head tilted. He set down his bread. He looked at Kara. She did not look away. That was her mistake. He crossed the square in 4 steps. His hand closed around her arm, and the blade came up, cold and fast, pressing beneath her jaw before she could step back.
"What did you put in the food?"
Not a question, a blade asking. Around the square, the sounds of the feast had gone quiet. Underfoot, villagers stood still as stones. Kara felt the edge of the knife and counted breaths.
Herbs.
She said.
For digestion.
"What kind?"
She looked at him. His eyes were still clear. Too clear. He had not eaten enough. She had miscounted. The specific cold of being wrong in a way that cannot be undone settled in her chest.
The kind
She said carefully.
that asks a man to rest.
Varick's grip tightened.
"Wake them up."
I can't.
The blade pressed harder.
"Then I burn this village with them in it."
Behind him, his lieutenant had gone face down into the bread. 2 more lay across each other like toppled timber. But Varick was still standing, rage holding him sharp, and she was 3 feet tall with a knife beneath her chin, and all the certainty she had carried into the evening was gone. She had planned for the food to work. She had not planned for the man who ate too little. She had nothing left. No trick, no second measure of dream root, no ally she had not already spent. Only the truth.
They'll wake by morning.
Kara said. Her voice did not shake. She was surprised by that.
They'll wake up rested, with no weapons and no horses, because those will have moved. And you'll be offered bread for the road, and you'll go home.
Varick stared at her.
"You had no soldiers,"
He said.
"no walls, no weapons.
No,
Then how did you—"
we cooked.
Something moved in his face. Not fear, exactly. Something older and less comfortable than fear. He looked at his sleeping soldiers, spread across the square like dropped armor. He looked at the underfoot villagers, standing quiet and patient, none of whom had run, none of whom looked surprised. He looked at the old woman by the barrel, watching him with the expression of someone who had already won and was simply being polite about it. His grip on Kara did not loosen. But the knife. The knife lowered.
"You gave me bread first."
Varick said. His voice had lost its edge.
"Before you knew if any of this would work."
Kara nodded.
I knew it would work.
He looked at the half-eaten piece still in his hand.
"You weren't certain."
I was certain about the bread.
She said.
I wasn't certain about the timing.
A long moment. Then Varric's legs decided the argument. He went down like a wall with the mortar knocked out. Slowly, then all at once. The blade struck the dirt and stayed. He was asleep before he was fully on the ground, one arm still reaching for something it had already forgotten. Kara crouched beside him, pulled a loose cloak over his shoulders. The child with the stick appeared at her elbow.
Do we keep these ones?
Until morning.
Kara straightened. Her hands were steady. She noticed that.
Then, bread for the road, like I said.
Were you scared?
She considered this, honestly.
Yes.
She said.
But the bread was good, so I was only scared, not wrong.
She went inside to put more water on. This has been a chapter from the Negsbane Iron series. Follow at Negsbane for more.